to The Experience Today, where we explore the fascinating intersections of psychology, the human experience, and American politics.
Good evening. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Appreciate y'all being on the scene crispy and clean for this episode of The Experience Today. I'm your host, Mr. Roderick Thwaites, and my lovely co-host, Ms. Valerie Zen, where we bring you psychology, politics, and all the BS in between that shapes our politics into the BS that it is, but we have fun with it. Right? We have fun with it. Do we not, Ms. Val?
Yeah, we have to. Listen, Shake Me, Wake Me When It's Over. That song popped into my head today. And I said,
why did it do that?
Well, a few years back, Bruce and I went to see the Temptations and the Tops at the Kravitz Center.
Okay.
So that music was just such fun. I mean, it was a great show. So that song was sort of bopping around in my head. And I thought, well, it really is, of course, about somebody losing the love of their lives, not wanting to even try to get through it. But we're kind of in that mode, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Wouldn't it be really special to be able to just go to sleep right now and wake up and we have the new America right in front of us and all of this treason and seditious behavior, everybody's arrested, everybody's at Gitmo resting comfortably, and it's done, and we get to live in peace, and all of our tax money has been returned to us. We're in the Jubilee. We've celebrated 250 years. Well, I think I would be sleeping with one eye open. This is getting juicy. This is getting really good. And I think, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, finish.
No, what we saw today with Cash and Todd Blanche.
Oh, man, that look.
If anybody thinks that this is just one thing, they're crazy. This is the beginning of a tsunami and a flood of like information coming out. And I'm not even taking seriously what just happened in Virginia tonight. The wording on the ballot was convoluted. People went in there. I saw a copy of the ballot earlier. People went in there, they didn't know what the hell they were saying yes or no to. It's just an unfortunate state we're in with people not paying attention
right.
to politics. So they're sleeping, They need to be woken up, but they probably won't be. The fact that this happened just means that our election system is still as it was. It's just the way it was. Nothing's changed. It's still being stolen. So be that as it may, when we move through all this stuff, like what Todd Blanche and Kash Patel put out on the media tonight, that's when things are going to start shifting. So if you'd like to play that video, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's extra spicy. Extra spicy, and as we like to say down south, it's extra scruff funk that just got washed off. But we're gonna get in there. I'm play a video. I'm gonna shut up. Let's do this.
What we're here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive, sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred. This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration. We're thankful for the president for his leadership and funding of not just the FBI and DOJ, but his commitment to go out there and wipe out fraud and conspiracy and waste and abuse wherever it occurs, including the Southern Poverty Law Center. Even though this money was made to appear to be coming from legitimate people and legitimate entities, we at the FBI, with our great partners at the Department of Justice and in the state of Alabama, were able to comb through a decade worth of material, a scheme that took a decade to build, so that we were able to follow the money, because money never lies, and they got caught. As the Attorney General said, these charges are varying, they are widespread and wide-ranging, and this investigation is very much ongoing. Today we're here to announce the charges of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and this investigation and the individuals who are responsible will be brought to justice. Thank you, General.
I mean, I heard all I needed to hear.
Well, I'll tell you something. If you think this is not the beginning, this is huge. And from here, we are going to see the peanut butter hitting the fan. This is big. And anybody that thinks, oh, nothing will happen. I see this in the chat rooms, everything I listen to. And I'm like, you guys may as well just close the book and go listen to something else. Because this stuff is exactly what we've been waiting for what, 12 years?
Yeah,
We knew this was going on since, what was the year? Obama, right? They said 2014, of course. This is pinpointing exactly where it all began, and not that it didn't begin from the very start of this country, because the Ku Klux Klan, how long have they been around?
1861, 1862, Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, these are, groups that have always been out there and then hiding in the radar when they get caught, and then out there again and then hiding again, like cockroaches. They come and they go. But I'm really, because of this, I'm not concerned with the fact that Virginia, they lost this race. It's just like, okay, we have bigger fish to fry. This is, I know it's indicative of.
See, I gotta go there. I have to go there, right? And this is the irony, and this is what really pisses me off about this whole thing. Because the SPLC has been gaslighting us for years. Look, since, if I remember correctly, they came out of early 70s. Is when the Southern Poverty Law Center started, right? And they've been gaslighting us about race, right? Since the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole anti-Semitism bit they would pull, right? They put all this anti-Semitism and you know what I mean? We know the drill. They're no different than the ADL, right? In this regard, right? But again, I'm trying to compose myself because this enrages me. because there have been so many people smeared for with false allegations. Right? People have lost their livelihoods, gone to prison over this lying network that was getting money from the government. Because remember, they're a 501c3. Not only they was getting it from the government, they was getting it from their donors to smear people. And the same people that sat here in our damn face, Miss Val, and said, oh, the right wing are white supremacists, anti-Semitic, and these, excuse my language, Miss Val, these Jews decided to act like Hitler on our soil.
That's right.
That's exactly what they did, and gaslit the American people to hate a group of people that just wanted to granted, again, I'm not condoning white supremacy, y'all, but I want you to understand, them people weren't bothering nobody, and you went and smeared them or whatever, and then turned around and gave them money to create fake hate crimes. Get the fuck out of here.
That's right. You know, I
This
wrote
is
something.
nuts.
I wrote something today. A group of people were saying, oh, we need to teach more of the Holocaust in school. The kids need to learn, you know, history. And I thought about it for a minute, and I wrote back and I said, no, the kids need to learn Islam, radical Islam, so they know exactly what they're up against. It's enough already with looking backward at teaching children, oh, victims and horrible. Oh, no, horrible is in front of us right now. And if we don't know this enemy, and we got plenty of them, I mean, communist China, the Islamic terrorists, and let's face it, you know, this is something that I've given a lot of thought to. We have a deep state here. We have deep state CIA all over the world. It's everywhere. It's in Israel. It's in the Asian countries. They all have deep state operatives. So this is a big issue that we've got to sever all of those connections that these evil politicians have mustered up to make their evil dollars. And it's so huge. I mean, you have to look at what Trump is doing and not always what he's saying. And I beg everybody to be cognizant of that. Trump is out there not speaking the truth half the time because he needs to trick the tricksters. And that's why it's very important not to get caught up in what you may think is a major issue. We're in this like disinformation frazzled war right now. We've got the Iranian media. Oh, they are Al Jazeera, right? They're operating in full force, full swing because they got to try to save themselves now. They're getting pushed into a corner and trapped in a cage. So everything that's coming out, if you're believing that part of the media, then you're emotionally caught. That's all. You're just a wreck, and you don't know what's going on because you're listening to too much garbage. It's so important at this point to swim through the algae and the muck and just keep on swimming because ain't no stopping us now. We cannot listen and take in for more than 30 seconds what the mass media is telling you. They're run by the CCP, they're run by Al Jazeera, which I think is one of the biggest media networks in the world. I think they have more stations than anyone in the world.
That is true.
Yeah, and how troubling is that? Because that's what's being fed to us, to, you know, to people all over the world, and it's not the truth. And believe you me, Trump he is a master at this. He knows when he's saying something that's not true, and he knows it has to be said that way because everybody's listening. Stay focused on that when you get upset over something. Stay focused on that. Turn around and say, maybe what he just said, or what the White House press just said, or something I saw on Newsmax, or some of these salami brains that even do what appear to be right-wing shows on Rumble or especially YouTube. It's all controlled. A lot of it is controlled. Just a lot of it is controlled media. And they jump to all these conclusions, and they could get you worked up in a heartbeat. And I'm not saying not to listen. I'm saying to listen, but question everything. The second you feel like this compunction to get upset, that's when you stop yourself. They're placing fear in front of me. And this is not what we need to operate through right now. No fear. You know, it's very interesting to me that not only what we just heard, but I think it's Chip Roy is doing this Mamdani Act. And Trump, of all people, he's really taking advantage of this baby news network. He did a very small baby news last night that I happened to catch somewhere. And he was talking to Mamdani in it. It was hilarious. And he said, oh, you're going to target millionaires and billionaires who have places in New York City, then they're not always there? People. Who's the billionaire that owns like all this real estate in New York and is not always there? Do you see this battle? Do you see this war? This is, it's everywhere. It's everywhere right now. So, and Paulina Luna, she's going after Ilmar and all the naturalized citizens. I would say in our government should be the first place to get them out, but just get them out already. This is too obvious. Get them out of our country. They hate us. They hate our country. That's not what our immigration was set up to be. So that's going on too. Tell me that I'm dreaming, yeah. Oh, there's somebody that I've been following on X. I don't know if anybody has heard of her or has listened to her. She calls herself Julie Donuts. Are you familiar with her, Rod?
No, I'm not.
Julie Donuts? Okay. She's very, very interesting. So I'm just going to read something she wrote today. She says, let me be very clear in capital letters. Many people have commented on my Obama committed treason post and said nothing will happen. See, this is, people are like, nothing's going to happen, bullshit, don't listen to this. This is where she's going. What many do not understand is this is not a normal politics as usual circumstance. Our government was overthrown by many domestic and foreign traitors for many years and have committed high crimes against our country. Election fraud, Russiagate hoax, COVID scam, crimes against humanity, crimes against children, treason in capital letters. So many people, so many crimes, both sides. There was no way to take down these monsters coming straight at them. It had to be a military operation. Years in the making and planning. It had to be this way in order for the public to slowly see and understand how corrupt they are. If it was done suddenly, there would be a civil war because people wouldn't understand why they were arrested and sent to Guantanamo Bay for military tribunals. They could not do that without we the people seeing and understanding. So all of you doubters and haters, all wars end, and this war for humanity in its final phase, and arrests of these big players are coming. Here's a sample platter of a few that are going down. The number of arrests will be hundreds of thousands of people. No, it won't be all at once. Yes, 98% of Congress will be gone. From the roots, we will pull out all the rot. Unprecedented. God is in charge of it all. I want everybody to get that message. Get it real good. Because that says it all. We're in a military operation. Disinformation is necessary. Trust the process. We, the people who have faith in God, have faith in this country, in our Constitution, and our freedom, and our liberty. This is where you need to be. Any comment, Rod?
No comment at all. I mean, I understand the message being conveyed, right? But
Yep.
again, I still say this though: don't ever still trust your government. I don't care if Donald Trump's at the helm.
No, oh no.
Don't-
Oh no, I'm not trusting anything.
Right. I'm not saying
No.
you. I'm just saying in general. Don't trust the government. Right? Because we've seen. Right. We've seen what they're capable of. We don't have to go through that. We can.
Yeah, but
I know
she
something
was
about that.
she was just saying they're all going to be gone. And if we look at even the last week, and this is like nothing, Pete Hegseth let go, I don't know, at least a dozen people, because the military is really a mess. We see people resigning and fleeing. They're the smart ones because they see what's coming. We're gonna even all of us that have been praying for this, that have wanted this to start happening already, because enough is enough. We're all feeling that forever now. Just enjoy the show. I mean, yes, we need to keep fighting, and that's the thing. We don't have an option of going to sleep and waking up and it's over. Maybe some people will skirt through that way and be obstinate. See, I knew nothing was going to happen. Mandami, nah, he'll be gone. Make light of everything. Yeah, some of those people will get away with that. That's fine. As long as we know what we did and what we've been fighting for all this time. And you know, sometimes like focusing on what's legal and what's not legal, it's not, I know you stay focused on that, Rod, and I respect whatever people choose to be focused on because it's all important. You know, when I watch RAV, which I have the luxury of having a dish here so I get Real America's Voice on my TV, if you look at the station and how it was set up, it's very interesting because each caster on the news has a different function. I mean, Steve Bannon obviously is one of the first ones that came on this network, and he's the passionate warrior. Like him, disagree with him, agree with him, he's incredible. He's an incredible person. Went to prison for all of this, the whole 9 yards. Then you look like on Sunday, I watch it on Sunday, Cowboy Logic. These are the people that stayed focused on the January Sixers. And they were talking to them on the phone from the prisons live every weekend. They were raising money for the J6ers. And then there are other broadcasters, some of them stayed focused on God, you know, on Sundays, all the beautiful religious, you know, teachings and shows, women talking about God. And every person on the network has a different focus, and yet they were all on the same network. And I think that that's what I'm trying to put across tonight, that we all have the things that we love to be focused on. I love to be focused on the food chain and big ag and the poisons in the air, and because I've always been focused on that. And that's great stuff to bring into this picture, because we've got RFK getting the shit beat out of him in the background as well, for trying to take all this garbage out of our lives. That's a huge undertaking. And then you've got Pete trying to run the military, and you know, you've got Tulsi finding all this election garbage. We don't have elections in this country anymore. They have successfully invaded our elections. China has the tools. We've had spies in this country who have been working with our politicians and giving out all of our information, carrying briefcases in and out of the country. We've had birthright citizenship. People coming here, having babies, taking the baby, bringing them back to China, trained by the CCP, and then they come back here to go to college and destroy our country and destroy our young students and children in the school system. They haven't missed a trick, except neither have we. And if you have faith in this country, you just have to pick your mission and stay focused on it, because being all over the place, I can do it. I'm a very focused person in general. I can listen to military roundtables for 3 hours and take it all in and not lose my train of thought for a minute. Most people can't do that. I can sit in a classroom and listen to a lecture from a teacher. I taught myself to do that. It didn't come naturally. I taught myself to do that. And I can listen to everything like cooking, like a recipe for cooking. Okay, what do we have in the house? Okay, we have onions, we have peppers, we have this, we have that. I think I'll put something together with all those ingredients, and it's different all the time. There's an art to being able to be in the center of everything that's going on and not lose your way. And I'm not saying I haven't lost my way, but I pull myself back, because that's what's important. Not to get caught up in all of this disinformation. I was reading something by Clarence Thomas today, and I know you're very fond of him. I'm very fond of him too. He's just an amazing, amazing character. And I think after he leaves the Supreme Court, one of the things I pray for is that Trump gets to replace who comes in this time, but the right way, not with knives at his neck like he had with Kavanaugh and he had with Amy Coney Barrett, because bad hombres, not good. Okay, so what did, okay, he actually, I think, wrote something. Did you want to say anything about what I just said before I do this?
No, I mean, the only thing I would add is, I mean, it's something I say ad nauseum all the time, right? We all have a lane to stay in,
Yep.
right? If you try to become multifaceted, that is when you get lost.
Yes.
Right, because you're putting a demand on yourself to know so many things, right? I mean, like me, for example, you noted the legal stuff, the constitutional stuff. That's my lane. I stay
right.
in my lane. That's it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Now, when people start talking about the economy, I'm out. I'm not an econ guy. I'm barely an econ 101 guy. I'm like econ 001 guy. You know what I mean? I need the high school version of economics first, so you give me college economics, right? That's not my realm. Right, I don't deal in that. The people that know econ, I'll listen to you all day long. I won't have no input. Right, and that's the thing when it comes to this fight. Right, it's you have to know what your lane is. You stay in that lane, but also you can collaborate with people that have different spheres of knowledge and influence. Right, to bring it forward. Like, again, prime example, Ninth Amendment Project, right? I got a couple lawyers on board with me, right? And we just happened to cross paths on TikTok, right? Like, a year or so ago. And we was like, we're going to, and they're local. And we discussed how this was going to go down. And now one of them is actually on the Supreme Court bar. And guess what? My interest in the Ninth Amendment and et cetera, that lawyer, anytime I want to be send a friend of the court or a amicus brief, I can send it through him.
There you go.
Right. So again, everybody's staying in their lane, but collaborating when necessary, and that's what's important. We lose sight of that because we've gotten to a point where we got to own the libs. I gotta own the libs. I gotta know everything and count everything in libs. I don't care. And this is why you'll never see me engage with libs, because they don't know they don't understand the Constitution. Their default is emotional responses. You'll never see me debate a liberal, because we can never talk about the Constitution, because they talk about what feels good to them and what they think the Constitution is instead of what it is, right? And I can't debate with people like that. So.
No, it's a waste of energy.
Exactly.
My mother always used to say, all roads lead to Rome. That's where we are right now.
That's right.
All the different webs lead to where we all need to be. And we can all create this web together.
Right.
Because everything is connected. Even if you don't know what you're supposed to know about a particular area, everything's connected. It's all going to feed in what happens. So let's see, as we prepare to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America's founding, Clarence Thomas opines that our future existence as a republic is not certain. As we meet today, it is unclear whether these principles will endure. At the beginning of the 20th century, a new set of first principles of government was introduced into the American mainstream. The proponents of this new set of first principles, most prominent among them, the 28th president of our country, Woodrow Wilson, called it progressivism. Since Wilson's presidency, progressivism has made many inroads into our system of government and our way of life. It has coexisted uneasily with the principles of the Declaration. Because it is opposed to those principles, it is not possible for the two to coexist forever. Progressivism was not native to America. Wilson and the progressives candidly admitted that they took it from Otto von Bismarck's Germany, whose state-centric society they admired. Progressives like Wilson argued that America needed to leave behind the principles of the founding and catch up with the more advanced and sophisticated system of relatively unimpeded state power nearly perfected. Liberty no longer preceded the government as a gift from God, but was to be enjoyed at the grace of the government. He had quite a terrible idea. That's where we lost our way, if you ask me.
Oh, 100%.
Yep. They want us to just be passive. Yeah.
And on top of, right, on top of, see, and y'all forgive me for, I can't explain this phenomenon that we're seeing, right? That words on the screen are not meaning what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm kind of referencing kind of what you're talking about, but I'm referencing my Facebook post I made yesterday, right? About what Trump posted on Truth. And I'm like, bro, you can't say that because our rights are the foundation. You can't say, I will give them up as a citizen. You know what people were telling me? Oh, he's just talking about his rights. Hello, he gives up his rights. All of our rights are emboldened and is wrapped into that because that is the foundation of our country. Right? If one person gives them up, they're all gone for everybody. Because now the government would think, oh, one gives them up, they all give them up. And we've seen that through history, how they've done that. Right? We've seen that through history. I mean, literally, let's talk about, I hate talking about this issue in particular, but look at the whole race issue, right? They took the race issue, weaponized it, and made law to usurp your liberty, right? To think what you want and say what you want.
Yep.
They will weaponize it, and people are not understanding that. You can't just give that because you give it away, the government's going to take it. They'll find a way to take it from you.
Oh, yeah.
But people argued with me. I said, I can't argue with this with you. If you can't understand all, I mean, and Martin Luther King had it right. What did he say? In injustice, what is it? In injustice, I can't remember the quote, but he basically said, if it's an injustice over there, it's an injustice everywhere. Right? And he said it right.
Yes, but do you think we have any freedom right now?
No, we don't. We don't have any freedom. Literally, we don't.
Already happened.
It's already happening.
We've already been, invaded by this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you could say something, and all of a sudden, you open up your phone, and you've got all these ads about what you just said in the living room when your phone was not even on.
Right.
It's yes. So. I know someone who was in the military a long time ago, and they were listening in on phone conversations back then.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They could find out anything about anybody they wanted. And, the CCP has basically perfected this. Here's an interesting thing that I think most people don't think about, but I've been thinking about it. You know how every year or two, or God forbid you have to have surgery, the doctor tells you, oh, we got to do your blood work. Blood work. Blood work. It all goes into a pool of information about you. They try to convince you, oh, it's the numbers. We have to check your blood pressure, your sugar, your all kinds of crap, your proteins, your red blood cells, blah, 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 whatever they do, the whole 9 yards. So what's the difference between having your blood work done and sending a piece of your hair to the DNA testers in the CCP so they can have genetic information on you, and when they decide that it's time to poison your group or your area where you live, they have all the information they need.
Right. Exactly to that point, right? And there's, I want everybody to understand this, right? If you didn't know, you're about to know now, right? There's this place in Colorado Springs, Colorado, that is under 2,500 feet of granite. You know what that place is called?
No.
That's Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh, Cheyenne Mountain. I'm familiar.
Mm-hmm. They were recording our phone calls when the construction finished in '66, and when it became operational, they were already recording our analog phone calls.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
They were already doing FISA, right? Yeah. They were doing Pfizer before Pfizer was Pfizer. They said, "Oh, we're just going to make it a law now to make it just all legit." Now, right? Like, oh my God. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, look, look, if we're in a situation right now, and you can argue with me, Rod.
I'll argue with you all day. Roar.
Okay. This particular issue about privacy, and I know how the Constitution was set up. I mean, I know the basics certainly, and I understand that this is not right, and our privacy is. But what Trump is doing right now, this is how I view it. And this is just me. I think we are in such an operation that if he doesn't have, and our military doesn't have access to spying on the people that are spying on us, they're going to get us. It's like looking at these hits in Iran and in Venezuela just recently. The information that we had, that you could hear someone's heartbeat from 1,000 miles away with the equipment that we had. Honestly, that was invading on the soldier's privacy, who was ejected from the plane and ended up in some cave and was struggling 100%. For his life. And it's how they saved him. I'm just bringing up the fact that we are in a moment right now where we have to step back sometimes and let happen what needs to happen. If we have to have our privacy violated, and it already is, I'm sorry, I don't have any inclination to think that it never will be again, that it's going to get cut off, and we're going to live in this world without computers, without cell phones, without any way to track anyone, without any way. There's so many bad people in this country right now, and the way we're going to get them out is with tracking, because we have the ability to do it. I really support this effort. And I know you think we'll never get it back, but we don't have it anyway. I want to get the bad guys out of this country, and if the only way we're going to do it, and the only way we're going to compete with Chinese intelligence and everything they have on us, and the Islamic terrorists, the only way we're going to survive, I'm going to use the word survive, is by having this technology and this ability to find and get these people. We're not going to be able to do it. Sometimes you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I just have to very respectfully step back from what you have been saying, just because.
And that's fine, right? But see, me, I come with a solution though, right? Because it doesn't have to come from the federal level, and that's what a lot of people don't get. We have 50 individual states that can handle that issue within their states. We don't need the federal government spying. We don't need that. We literally don't.
But do you think all the states would be willing to do it?
Well, here's the thing, right? Will all the states be willing to do it? Probably not, right? Especially the blue ones. And you know what? Let them cave in. You come into a red state and we know you're coming. Guess what? You're not going to arrive alive. Wow. Because as citizens of the states, we have a right to defend our state. We have a right to defend it. If we have information that you're a bad hombre and you pulling up in here, I'm sorry, you may not arrive alive. And the state can have that and will have that intelligence. They have more intelligence than the federal government does. But why does it have to come from the Fed down? The states can handle that.
I think some of the states, right now we have 20 states that Tulsi Gabbard has identified that have interfered with foreign leaders in stealing our elections. So let's just assume that number remains as is in terms of running their own states for intelligence. I'm sorry. I just feel like that's not a good solution for this country right now that's so divided. I don't see how we could come together. They will allow the garbage coming into this country and give them sanctuary, which in itself is illegal, but it doesn't matter anymore because they just say no to whatever they don't want to do.
Right.
Oh, give us your election rolls. No. Give us your documents. No. They're just not cooperating. So if we have half the country not cooperating, so what happens? We get a nuclear missile dropped on us because the states that weren't cooperating, you see, I think this military operation we're in right now is just beginning to function in real time. And we have to allow it to function. Yeah. I mean, Justin just wrote we could have 50 DCs. We could. And now Virginia is going to join the party with New York and California and Minnesota and who else we got? Michigan. We could on one hand name the demon states. They're going to remain demons. I have no hope that they're going to shift their gear anytime soon. They're going to stay who they are for quite some time until all this garbage is literally pulled out like a cancer, like the cancer that it is. And it's going to take us cooperating with the military. I don't really care if someone is listening in on my radio show, on my phone, into my banking. It's already being done. You know, I saw the other day, there's a new scam. You know how you go on a site and they tell you to check off, I am not a robot, and then you have to pick out the pictures of the bridges or the bicycles or whatever it is.
Yep.
There's a new scam that they have people doing things that they just get all your information the second you go to do that. And it looks a little different than the real one. They're in our phones. They're in our banks and our computers. They're in everything already. Let's just get this done. Let's just give our support to the military, which I think it's military intelligence, that is going to be using the access to get into people's private stuff. Go for it. Do it. I want this to end. I don't want to stay in this place fighting for the rest of my life. I want to get through this. So I don't mind giving up my privacy for this because I feel like it's already been taken anyway. Not that I'm lazy about that. It's just that I see the purpose behind it. Yeah, I know. I knew.
Again, I understand your point of view 100%. I do, and everybody that has the same sentiment, I do. I wholeheartedly do. But I'm gonna leave this question on the table, right?
Okay.
When has the government given back rights that they've confiscated?
Why would you think they ever would?
Well, they should have never took them in the first place. But
hey, have you ever spoiled a child and said, I wish I didn't spoil that child? Because now they're going to be spoiled the rest of their life.
100%, right? And it goes back to what Franklin said, right? You can't sacrifice security for safety, right?
Right?
You know, for me, I will always fight that front as where it's going to be and how it manifests itself. Now, granted, right? I mean, I'm that guy. You know, like even if they I mean, I don't have any influence on them passing the 702. So I mean, if they pass it and they misuse it, I'll be the first person standing in front of them with a lawsuit longer than a receipt from Walmart. I'll be the first one.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think we all have to get to a place too where we can see things going not the way we want them to go, and we just keep on going. There's a lot going on, and we're all going to be like, no, I don't want this, I don't want that. You're just going to have to be okay with it, because there's some things that are not worth giving up your energy for, and some things that are worth putting your energy into, and it's an individual thing.
Yeah, 100%. I want to throw out a reminder, right? That's why Ruby Ridge happened.
Yeah.
This is exactly why Ruby Ridge happened.
Listen, not only is our government fragmented, but we are too.
We are.
You know, we are, and you know, we've got this administrative state, we've got leftist media, we've got NGOs.
We get all the misinformation. We got the misinformation mill from hell going on right now. That's what we got.
Yes, we do.
I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Fox, CNN, MS Now, or whatever they call them. It's all misinformation. Now you throw these people like Candace Owens in the mix and Tucker Carlson, and you throw all that in the mix, and then you got Rachel Maddow hiding in the back of her closet trying to do her show because she knows if she pops her head out, something else is going. Like this ish is crazy.
That's right. It is crazy. It's crazy, but it's just happening. It's like, sometimes we have to just go into an acceptance mode and then keep on going at the same time. There's nothing we can do about some of the things that are happening. We're all human beings, and humans make mistakes. And Trump is handling a load right now that if he wasn't partially insane, he could never do.
Right.
Statement of fact. He's a whack job. And he's also incredible because he can handle being a whack job, and he can handle dealing with all the whack jobs. And it's amazing to watch this.
Yeah.
So there's not another person that would be as crazy as he is to take on the entire Khazarian mafia as he's doing. Look at each country. Since he came out in January, what's been going on? Like, our heads are spinning. Who else could do this?
Yeah.
You could have a nice president that just followed the Constitution and just got swallowed up. Just get swallowed up in this rat-infested government we're in. We are in a rat's nest right now. And if we don't have somebody fighting, even if he makes mistakes, and he will, and he is, and he does, we still have to stay on the right side of this and pray and do whatever we can do to get through the mud. What I don't want to hear people putting President Trump down. It's fine to say he made a mistake. It's fine to fight for the mistakes that he made. It's fine to speak out, but don't put the man down. Look what he's going through.
100%. Definitely don't put him down. But and again, right? I always say this. I always say this to people online all the time, right? When it comes to Trump, right? Again, right? Everybody knows, right? But for the people that don't know, right? I'm not this MAGA guy. I'm not any of that. I do support Trump. That doesn't make me MAGA. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make me America first. I support what he's doing, but at the same time, in that same right, as I give him support, I can criticize moves that I think are very bad.
Of course.
Right? And people mistake that, right, a lot of times, right, as hating Trump, or I'm jumping off the Trump train. No, there's no jumping off no Trump train, because if I can't hold now, it's different, right? When people try to hold, Trump accountable, it's always something stupid. Right? Say, oh, well, he does this. Give me a formed argument, right?
Well, I tell people they just hate him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you can't hate without a reason. Give me a reason. Well, he did this. No, that's not valid. Give me a policy reason, or give me an articulated argument why how he violated a federal statute or the Constitution. Give me a formed argument, because anything else, to me, I hear Charlie Brown, wah, 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 because I don't hear you.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And at the same time, I give those same people my legal argument, why reference where I need to, and spit it right on out. It's like, that's why I don't like that action. And, right? And it's like, oh, you shouldn't. No, we should. We should.
It's called good journalism. Netanyahu has driven Al Jazeera out of Israel, realizing they violated the tenets of good and decent journalism.
Right.
We need to do the same thing. I mean, we have a lot of work just in dealing with the fake news. We need to go to war with them.
Right.
It's half the battle. It's probably more than half the battle.
But they're all protected, right? They all protect themselves. They all cover themselves, right?
They're all terrorists.
Well, that part. I can't counter that. That you told no lie. That's what it is. It's intellectual terrorism. It's what it is. I just made up a word, didn't I guess.
You did. Don't you love that when that happens? Yeah. Anyway, I just want everybody to feel like what's going on right now just has to go on. Where we go one, we go all, right? They've been spouting that since forever.
Yep.
And it's really becoming more and more true every week. And more is coming out every day. I mean, every day keeps getting faster and faster and faster. We're speeding at the sound of light right now. Sound, light. It's hard.
Right.
It's hard work just staying in it. But we don't have a choice. Right. Unless you want to move to Canada and say, bye-bye, Crew World. Bye-bye.
I mean, a lot of people have done that already anyway, right?
Yeah, they are.
I'm moving to Canada. I'm like,
I'm depressed. Put me out of this. Get me out of this.
Right. Get me out of my misery. Oh, we came up to the end kind of quick, Miss Val. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody in the live studio audience for listening to this constructive dialogue as always, because we always tell our experience in that day or what it was for the week. I guess it would be weekly experience today. I don't know. Whatever it is. But, hey, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Remember, make sure you go browse through torturelibertymedia.com and the Ninth Amendment Project.org. Make sure you browse through there, et cetera, et cetera. I want you guys to enjoy your week. Remember, keep your head to the sky, right? And remember, right? You are not alone in your experience. There's many people experiencing something relatively the same thing you are in that same exact instance, right? It's how you handle that particular experience compared to whatever you want to throw out there, So with that being said, remember, love your neighbors, love your families, but ultimately you got to love yourself. Peace and love, everybody.